What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and in today's YouTube video, I want to talk about FOMO and blacklisted cosmetics, because this is a topic that I see talked about all the time, and I feel there's a lot of misinformation out there regarding what is actually happening with these quote-unquote blacklisted items, and if certain things are actually blacklisted, or if there's just something that hasn't been seen in the item shop in a long time. And I want to start this video off by stating the following. Do I believe that blacklisted cosmetics exist in Fortnite? Like, there's cosmetics that Epic Games is like, hey, we released about 4, but going forwards, let's not release that skin anymore. Yes, I do believe blacklisted cosmetics exist. However, I don't believe that every single cosmetic that hasn't released in a long time is actually quote-unquote blacklisted from the shop or being sold or anything like that once again. I think some cosmetics actually go under a system called artificial scarcity, where Epic Games intentionally makes an item not release in the item shop for a long time, so when they do bring it back, people, even those who may not really care about the cosmetic to begin with, end up purchasing it more often because of the fact that it's this insanely rare cosmetic that hasn't been seen in multiple years. Now let's start it off by talking about the most recent item shop situation, which is icon emotes returning for the first time in a while. They've had stuff such as the item shop that is currently active right now, which actually released 2 emotes that haven't been seen in a long time, being Salam Style, which was last seen 992 days ago, and then Russian Around, which was last seen 1043 days ago, meaning last seen over like 3 years ago. But it just magically returned to the item shop after so long of actually being in the game and being sold before. Now, to kind of talk about certain emotes like Russian Around specifically, because it mentioned, stuff like Russia, I could understand why this one got, originally they stopped selling it, the whole entire Russian stuff that was going on a while ago. Makes sense, it's understandable what is going on here. You know what, here, I got you, buddy. Yeah, I got you. What's up, doe? But yeah, like I was saying, it is a whole entire situation where the stuff going on in the real world might actually influence certain cosmetics getting blacklisted, but just because a cosmetic is blacklisted, I don't think means it's going to be permanently blacklisted and it might return in the future. And the reason I say this is because there's been times before where we had situations like content creators talking about, oh, here's a list of items I'm allowed to have in my locker bundle, and then they show the list to the public, we start making giant lists on Twitter of all the emotes and stuff you are allowed to use, and we don't see certain things in there. But I don't think just because a locker bundle isn't allowed to have like a certain emote or something, that it means that, oh, this cosmetic is blacklisted, it's never going to return to the item shop. I think it means, oh, hey, there's certain cosmetics Epic Games is aware of that they know people actually want, they know that it hasn't returned in a long time, that they're keeping rare, they're keeping out of the item shop just so later down the line when they end up actually putting it in the shop, they can sell it for a much higher, or not even a much higher price, but they'll get more sales on it because there's going to be more people actually purchasing it than if it was just like a 30-day cosmetic or something along those lines. So it's definitely something where I do think that there is a bit of blacklisted cosmetics or whatever, but it's also a situation where I don't think every single cosmetic that ends up leaving the item shop and not returning for a long time is blacklisted from the shop to where it'll never return. Some things it makes sense, like the Rust Bucket back bling that we had before. That back bling was actually last seen 2,444 days ago, and it was a free back bling for server issues all the way back in like chapter 1, so that one makes sense. But in certain situations where a cosmetic just hasn't returned in a long time, so if I go through my list here, look at my other monitor, like if we look at Kratos, I don't think Kratos is blacklisted, right? I think that when it comes to collaborations in particular, they're not really blacklisted things so per se, unless it's like an icon emote or something, but it's more so they don't have permission from the actual IP holder to keep bringing the cosmetics back. We're seeing this most recently with the Arcane cosmetics, where they mentioned the actual people behind Arcane and League of Legends went ahead and mentioned that, hey, the reason the cosmetics haven't returned in Fortnite is because that was a promotion I cannot aim at all, but that was a promotion we did for Arcane Season 1, and it isn't something that we were planning to bring back, right? That's the whole entire reason it existed. Then again, after, everyone on social media started talking about that situation, they went ahead and said, oh, we'll look into potential options, but we're not going to guarantee that the cosmetics will be returning. So there are some situations like Kratos, Travis Scott, Arcane, where they're not really blacklisted, it's just that they can't be brought back without the third party, the actual person who owns the rights to the character, the person behind it, or whatever else decides, yeah, you know what, I'm fine with it coming back to the game. But all this blacklisted cosmetic talk, and even though it exists for some things and doesn't exist for other things, because we'll see emotes that haven't been seen in like 1,000 days returning to the item shop, it does kind of play into this whole entire situation of FOMO that exists in Fortnite. I know some people might say, oh, oh, Fortnite's getting rid of Fomo. You know, they're making it so battle passes, you can just purchase the cosmetics in the item shop later down the line. But even though that is a thing, and battle pass cosmetics can be sold in the item shop, it isn't a one-to-one guarantee that every single thing you see in a battle pass will be sold in the item shop later down the line. There's certain sprays, emoticons, you know, emotes, and etc. that might not actually make their way into the item shop because they weren't as popular as other things in certain battle passes. And then we have situations where even if battle pass FOMO doesn't exist, the actual item shop in the game still in its own way has FOMO that exists. Can I stop picking up those? Where there are certain cosmetics that will release in the item shop, and because we know there's situations where things don't show up again for years, you know, there's cosmetics that haven't been seen in like 5+ years at this point in the files and everything, people will end up wanting to purchase things when they see the new collaboration or something because they have all this knowledge of how the item shop works. They have all this knowledge on how a cosmetic might become rare and not return, causing them to spend more money most likely to get something that they think they won't be able to get a month or a year from now. Some cases, you know, that cosmetic ends up coming back every 30 days, every 40 days or whatever. I mean, there's a while ago, back in like Christmas or Halloween a few years ago, where we kept getting the Rick and Morty cosmetics back over and over and over and over again, and people were like, where are the Rick and Morty cosmetics? Why are they always here? Why don't they ever leave? And then once they finally stopped bringing Rick and Morty back to the game after so long, now I get DMs and I get people asking me, FireMonkey, when's Rick and Morty returning to the Fortnite item shop? And it's like, man, I remember just a few months ago, everyone was like, when will these guys leave? And if I actually go over here on my other monitor and I type like Morty in, Mecha Morty was last seen 362 days ago, basically over a year ago at this point, right? You know, it's at that 1 year mark, but it's something that I remember when it was in the item shop multiple times. Because if I look right here, it was seen 89 times in the shop. December 31st, 2023, all the way to December 12th, 2023. We have like October 17th, all the way to October 23rd. These cosmetics would come back every October, November, December, and would stay in the item shop for weeks on end, and then it ends up in the situation where it's like, well, now these haven't been seen in a while, and I definitely feel like if something like Mecha Morty was to re-release in the item shop now, since it's a collaboration that hasn't been seen in over a year, there's going to be more people out there who actually end up purchasing the cosmetic because they're scared that it's actually going to go away and it won't be seen for another year or two, so if they don't buy it right now, there's a chance it becomes so rare that they won't be able to buy it in the future. Now, I do think there's a lot of like psychology type stuff that goes on when it comes to like Fortnite FOMO with the item shop and even blacklisted cosmetics and everything, but I would love to hear in the comments down below, what do you think about the whole entire situation of blacklisted cosmetics? Do you think that they should go ahead and stop trying to do this scarcity type system where they end up making certain items intentionally rarer, so when they do bring it back later down the line, more people end up buying it? And do you think that I'm kind of in the right, or do you think I'm wrong with this yapping video? Do you think I'm just kind of saying stuff and it doesn't really matter? You know, it's like, oh, it's not that deep, FireMonkey, it's just cosmetic in the video game. But I thought I would make the video because I do know there's a lot of talk about like blacklisted cosmetics and stuff, especially recently with the item shop and icon emotes. There's been a lot of old emotes that haven't been seen in years literally returning out of the blue, to the point where now I get messages and stuff of people being like, where is the icon emotes tab? Why is then that coming back yet? Because now everyone's expecting the icon emotes to rotate every so often to bring back more and more of those rare OG emotes, whatever you want to call them. So it's definitely a odd little culture I see when it comes to the people who actively spend money on this game. I know personally for me, I kind of decided, you know, Cyberpunk, that's the main collaboration I've been wanting, so I'm not really buying battle passes right now. I canceled my Fortnite crew, don't really care about any of that stuff unless there's something that I actively really want. Then I'll go ahead and, you know, get the crew, or maybe I'll just grind out Save the World to get the V-Bucks or all that type of stuff. But it is an odd situation where I think I'm just kind of burnt out on the spending money portion of the game, which of course is a side hobby thing, right? You don't have to spend money on this game to play it at all, and I think I'm definitely just going to keep playing it here and there whenever I want to, without really focusing too much on, oh my god, I can't believe the rare Global Globble emote from 2,700 days ago has returned to the item shop. I gotta whip out my credit card and buy this because it might be gone for another 5 years. Until next time, however, I hope champs and champions are having a wonderful few days after Christmas and a wonderful build up to the New Year's, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another upload. So until then, peace out.